All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining our poolside. I know it still says fireside chat, but we're calling it the poolside chat now because it's only, well, actually, say it's less than 100 degrees, so it's kind of nice today. Um, I really appreciate you guys tuning in on this one. Obviously, this is a special one for us. I know he doesn't really need an introduction because most people know who he is, but a lot of people out there don't know what he's about or where he came up in the ranks and how he did what he's done so far in his life. Not just from a company level, but obviously from a personal level as well. We all know him as Stan Morris. He's got a lot of other nicknames like Q-Tip, Pops, a little bit of everything, so he answers to a lot. But I wanted to welcome Stan, and obviously the reason why we're doing you this month is because it's your birthday. How old did you just turn?
Old enough.
You're not going to share?
Old enough.
Come on. Come on.
73.
73 years young. See, you too can look like him at 73 and be as spunky and spontaneous as he is. That's your motto? Growing older is a requirement, but growing up is a... No, what is it? Now you don't even know it.
We'll come back to it.
Okay, we'll come back to that one. He's got to remember it. All right. Welcome, Stanley. And, like I said, there's a lot of people here at this company that have been around for a long time that know you in a lot of different aspects and know who you are and what you've done and with a lot of different things. But there's also a lot out there that really has not had the opportunity to get to know who you are. So kind of wanted to start off today with kind of give us a little bit of background of who you are, where you grew up. I know you're a lifelong native of Arizona, but give us a little background on where you grew up and then basically till now.
Let's go back to, I was born in Safford, Arizona, many, many moons ago. Lived there till I was 10. Moved to Phoenix. Lived in Phoenix and Tempe the rest of my life. Pretty simple.
Went to ASU?
I went to Washington High School and I went to Arizona State University. Got a degree in finance and got into the mortgage business. Little interesting side note would be I was going through career services at Arizona State, and all the job offers I was receiving were for out-of-state firms, would require my relocation. And I got to thinking one weekend, I don't really want to move. I like Arizona. So I started looking locally, and my wife's uncle was a head PR guy at Chicago Title, and he hooked me up with a guy named Mike Shebeck at Weyerhaeuser Mortgage Company. None of these people are still alive. Hope you all understand that. Don't go looking for them. You won't find them. But at any rate, I started work as a trainee at Weyerhaeuser Mortgage Company in 1972. That's before most of you were born. I understand that. But at any rate, I trained for 7-8 months. And then one day, Mr. Shebeck walked into my office with a box in his hand, and it was a box of business cards. And he said to me, "Here you go get them." And the first thing I thought to myself was, "Go get who?" And so I asked him the question. I said, "Go get who?" And he said, "Well, where are you going to get your business from?" And I said, I think from realtors. And he said, "Go get them." So that's when I started making cold calls and figured out that there were ancillary places that you could go to get business as well, i.e. title companies and CPAs and financial planners. And so kind of expanded from there. And I found that my personal highest and best ability to generate business came from smaller real estate firms. I did not do well in large real estate firms. If they had over 60 to 80 realtors, that wasn't where I got my business from. I got my business from those smaller companies who had maybe 10 to 15, maybe 20 realtors, and that's where I had my most success in generating business.
That's awesome. That's funny though. I mean, those are the exact same words you said to me when I came to work for you in 1999, beginning of 2000. I think you gave me a box of cards and said, "Go get them." That was your advice back then.
Mhm.
And by the way, I was born. I might have only been 4 years old, but I was born back when you started that job. So I was.
You were?
Yeah, yeah. 4 years old though.
Damn. Pardon my French.
I'm not quite as old as him, but I'm getting there. So when you started there, and you basically just started as an originator, and then from there,
Well, trainee.
from there, where did you go with the rest of your career? Tell me how you ended up. I mean, don't get into people's yet, but how'd you progress through, and where was your steps and your plans for your path in the industry?
I was an originator at Weyerhaeuser for probably 10 to 12 years, maybe not even that long. And then I went to work for another company. And then the market crashed. And back at that time when the market crashed, if you did more than 2 deals a month, you're one of the top originators in the Phoenix metro area. That's how bad business was. So I took a part-time job with the local newspaper, the Arizona Republic, and on all holidays and weekends, I was down at the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport by 3:30 in the morning, and then I went to the different locations where the paper boys came, picked up their papers, and I had to make sure they all got up, they all got their papers picked up, and they got all their papers delivered. There was a real reason for that, and that was whichever the ones didn't get them delivered, guess who got to deliver them? It was me. And the area that I covered wasn't particularly one of the better areas, particularly in the dark in Phoenix. But I did that as a part-time job to help make ends meet, support the family.
How old were you when you were doing that?
No, my late 20s.
That was a long time ago.
Well, it was a while ago. A long time ago.
Sorry.
Bit of at any rate, at
Actually, that's when they had printed newspapers before everything was online.
They
even.
still have printed newspaper. I read the newspaper every morning.
I know you do.
But at any rate, then I left there and went to work for a company called Graham Mortgage out of Michigan. And I worked there for a while until a company by the name of Charles F. Curry out of Kansas City, Missouri, contacted me and asked me if I would open a branch for him out here. So it seemed interesting to me, and I had not run anything like that before, so I went ahead and took that job and built an operation for the Charles F. Curry Company here. Not too long after that, maybe 7, 8 years, Valley National Bank, which was the largest local bank, approached me about joining them and running the Phoenix metro area. So I did that, and I ran, I think, 3 or 4 branches for them for a while. And then I think after that time frame, I ended up going to work for a company called North American Mortgage. And I worked there for a period of time. And there was quite a number of people from the bank who left and came to work at North American Mortgage, and I didn't have anything to do with it. I didn't recruit any of them. They just put an ad in the paper. That's how you got around the issue of legality. But at any rate, so then the bank came back to me and asked me if I would come back there, and so I did, and we built it up to about at the time about 100 million a month, 120 million a month.
Back then,
I ran the U.S. for the bank, and nationally we were probably doing $2 billion at the time.
Wow.
Nationwide.
Right.
So.
As Valley, or is that when they became Chase?
That was when it became Bank One.
Or Bank One, that's right.
Yeah.
So merged with Bank One. That's when you became the regional. Were you the national first, and then you went to the West Coast, or?
No, I was the regional guy first.
Okay.
And then they asked me if I would relocate to Indianapolis, and I said, for what purpose? And they said, well, we want you to run it nationally. And I said, do I have to be in Indianapolis? And they said, well, yeah, we think you do. And so I said, no, then I probably not, because I don't really want to relocate. And they came back 3 weeks later and said, okay, fine, you got to be in Indianapolis 1 day a week. for corporate decisions
Right.
and policy changes. So I agreed to that. And so if I was going west, I left on Monday morning. If I was going east, I left on Sunday afternoon, 3 weeks out of the month. I did that for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
We opened maybe 30, 40 offices around the country at that time. And then they decided as a bank, and the banks don't understand how the mortgage industry works. Nobody's on the call here that has an affinity for that issue. But at any rate, I told them that I was. They made some changes and moved the business from here to here, and that doesn't work for the retail line of business and the wholesale and correspondent line of business I was running. So I told them I was leaving, and I eventually left and started Peoples.
So that's when you started. That's when you started the whole evolution of Peoples. But there were some other things that happened before then, right? I mean, as far as planning, you kind of started planning that you saw the writing on the wall. But before we jump into that, one thing that I always respected I've known Stan for a long time. My dad's known him for a long time, but never knew him on a professional level until I came to Peoples. But one of the things that I really respected about the business at Peoples was, number one, the involvement in the community. Stan was a very big supporter of that, and that was one of his big key things. And then also, his drive, because he came from a large corporation, and I had just left a large corporation, and the mentality of having it a small family-like feel company was really big to him. But tell me a little bit how you got involved in giving back, all the philanthropy that you do, which again I think is a pillar for this company and a pillar for who we are in the community. And I think you and I have always said, give back in the communities that you make a living in. And I think that's really big for our company, always has been. But how did you start? Where did you find your first step getting into philanthropy in the community?
At the time I was at the bank, and there's a group in Phoenix called the Phoenix Thunderbirds, and they had approached me because of the position I held with the bank, being a member of the Thunderbirds. And then within a short period of time, maybe 2 months after that, a group where I was living, the city I was living in, called the Tempe Diablos, approached me as well. And after looking at some of the things that each of them did, the Thunderbirds run the Phoenix Open, which I'm sure most of you know about.
No.
Large.
That a golf match?
Yeah, it's a little golf tournament they run here. At any rate, they raise a lot of money. But I really liked the things that the Tempe Diablos did with their money. I really thought it was a better way to spend the money than the others. So I ended up joining the Tempe Diablos, and that was 23 or 24 years ago.
And what are the organizations that the Diablos support in Tempe? Give us some ideas of some of the grants that you guys are giving out.
We give away about $1 million a year. This year's probably going to be $1.2 million, and we give it to probably 30 to 35 children's charities. We also provide scholarships for graduating seniors, high school seniors, as well as continuing scholarships for kids who go to the community colleges here in Arizona, as well as Arizona State University. So we have probably 30 scholars that we provide money for on an ongoing basis, whether it's first year or ongoing, and they have to meet certain criteria. They have to have a certain GPA, they have to have so many hours, and then we provide them with scholarship every year to help them meet their financial needs. So that's kind of that we give them to the charity. We do that. The main fundraiser or dollars that we receive are from spring training baseball. Okay. We also have another event called Ignite the Night, which is kind of a casino night, if you will. We do that along with 2 or 3 other things that we raise money for.
And most of the charities that you guys are supporting all evolve around education, doesn't it? Don't you also have teachers? Mm-hmm. Like you give grants to the schools for teachers and stuff like that as well?
We are the only charity in the state of Arizona that I'm aware of who give grants and scholarships to the teachers.
Yeah.
We have an event each year, and it's for all of the children. Shouldn't say children; they're young adults. For them to receive those awards, we do it at a local arts Center for the Arts in Tempe. Then we also do one for the teachers, and teachers submit their suggestions on who they think should be allowed to win this. And then we take a high school district and 2 elementary school districts, Kyrene and Tempe elementary school districts,
right,
along with the Tempe Union High School district. And we bring those teachers in, and it's like a Grammy night or something of that nature.
Right.
And we bring them up on stage. It's a huge event, and there's probably 600 to 800 people there, and the teachers are just thrilled because we give them money to. I mean, they're having to use their own money in many instances for supplies for their children, for the kids in their classes, and we are the only, like I said, the only charity that I'm aware of that provides those kinds of grants for elementary teachers.
Absolutely. That's great.
Okay. I've been involved in the YMCA's and the Arizona Mortgage Bankers Association, and
You're the president of the AMLA for a while there, weren't you?
I was president of the Arizona Mortgage Bankers,
Yeah.
and the Tempe Diablos, I was the president of that, and a few other charities. There's always something going on.
That's good.
You can make yourself available, and you should, to help out your community. So, and then we do lots of things corporately for charities.
Absolutely. All right, so tell us how you visioned when you decided to get out of the big corporate world and start your own little small mortgage company that you guys thought was going to be small forever. Tell me what your vision was, because there was 2 other partners at the time when you started it, and what was the vision of back then People's Mortgage and what you guys thought?
At the time, there was a bank out of Indiana, and they, if we needed monies to operate the company, they were willing to step in and provide that money. We never needed them to, but one day they called me and asked me, "So, what's your motto?" I said, "Well, there's me and 2 other people. I don't really have a motto." He said, "Well, we got to have a motto to put in the stuff that we have for you guys." I said, "Well, how about we'll do a few deals, make a little money, and have a whole lot of fun." They all laughed, and I said, "I'm sure that isn't what you want, what you had in mind." And his response back to me was, "We've never heard that before. We like that. That's wonderful." So that's turned out to be our motto.
Yep.
You know, do a few deals, make a little money, and have a lot of fun. Well, as you all can probably see now, that that do a few deals isn't true. Make a little money is probably still true, and have a whole lot of fun is still true. So we're much bigger than I anticipated we would be. It's been 22 years, and we've gone from 1 employee, which was me, to at times above 500. I think that number's lower now, but not much. So we've become a much bigger, and we're also a national entity. We've become a mid-sized, as far as the agencies are concerned, we've become a mid-sized
Right.
lender,
Yep.
which is bigger than I thought we would, and what I didn't plan.
What was funny is that actually, I think it was like 2000, might have been 12 or 13, when we moved over to the first offices over there off of Ray, and might have been even after that. And we had to be with our warehouse lines because we were expanding and we were growing. And basically, they sat down with us and asked us the same exact question. And Stan didn't waver from his line. And they basically said, "You know what? I still like that. I still had a totally different bank than what it was back then. It wasn't out of Michigan, but it was the same exact line. Do some deals, make a little money, and have a lot of fun." And that was kind of the whole motto of the whole company at that point, and which is fun. It always made it a fun environment to be in as well, which is cool.
My biggest concern with the size was the family feeling.
Yep.
That was my biggest concern.
Absolutely.
And I that's why I had in my mind when we started it was the idea that we were going to have a small company and it'll be a nice family feel, and we'll do things and provide answers and responses quickly, and it's grown much larger, but I don't think the family feel, I'm comfortable, the family feel doesn't seem to have gone away.
I agree.
It just doesn't seem to have gone away, and I'm very thankful for that. Very
And
thankful.
I think at the same time, the different department managers have all been empowered to make decisions on behalf of the company because we trust them, and you trust them, and the same thing with giving back answers in a timely manner. You know, that's always been the mentality, not having 3 days or 4 days or 5 days to get an answer, and that's always been important to us. And I think all of the managing department heads, when it comes to support that way, they understand that as well. And so obviously that says a lot for how your vision was of the company. Even though we did go from 45 employees at one point to over 500, you had that same vision and you wanted that feel to stay the same, which you have done a phenomenal job in. And I think everybody has in this entire company, knowing that that's how we all feel.
I mean, let's not lose sight of a very simple fact. I'm not the Pied Piper of the mortgage business. Never have been, and never will be. But I do think if I've done anything correctly, it's hire the correct people, give them the tools, and then most importantly, get out of the way. Let them do.
And the tools included more than just a box of business cards, because literally that's what he gave me. I didn't even have a laptop back then. I don't think we were doing handwritten mortgages back then.
Because he didn't know how to work the computer.
Not true.
But at any rate, that's that simple. When you grow larger like we've grown, one of the things I've had to learn, probably one of the biggest things I've had to learn, is the ability to let go. Let people go do their thing, okay? You hire the people that do the things better than you do. And once again, give them the tools and get out of the way.
Yep.
Let them do what they do best. If they don't do it well, then we'll sit down and have a conversation. But I don't micromanage people. That's not my style. I don't like doing that. And that just tells me that I didn't hire the right people. So
Absolutely.
it's a simple process. It's not rocket science. But be careful on who you hire, because those people will be the ones that either make you look good or make you look really bad. Pretty simple.
Any questions from the audience?
We do. I don't know where to start.
Well, throw them all out there. Throw them all out.
How do you?
Time out.
Okay.
You mean to tell me that I didn't answer all their questions? Wow. Okay. Fire away.
How do you think you've kept that family feeling? Is it just the hiring, or?
Hiring's part of it. Treat people appropriately. Treat people with respect. Okay? You may not agree with their philosophy, you may not agree with the decisions they've made, but treat them with respect. Okay? I mean, that's what you're looking to be treated. Treat them that way. Okay? Hopefully the answer to that question is, I don't go out, if somebody screws up, I don't go out and yell and scream at them and holler at them in front of people. We'll bring them in, we'll sit down and talk, come to some conclusions on what's the best way to go and approach whatever issue needs to be addressed. And then we'll work together to get it taken care of. But treat people with respect.
And I mean, I'm going to elaborate on that too. I think one of the things that you've done great since the day I've been here as well is you never put yourself on a pedestal as the owner. You never put yourself up there. And by having that mentality alone puts you at the level of everybody else in this company and makes it more open for people to come in and have a conversation and feel like they can be honest and truthful. And you've done that. You've never been able to, hey, I'm here, you got to like bow down to me. It was never that way with you. I mean,
well, once again, I'm not the Pied Piper of the business.
right.
I'm just a spoke in the wheel, and I turn as it turns, like we all do. Okay? It's real simple.
Do you have another one?
Where does Mariah Development come from? Where did you get?
For those of you that are old enough, do you remember the Broadway show West Side Story? Maria, Maria.
That's not where it came from.
That's what I tell everybody. Well, go ahead.
He had another business a long time ago before he started People's Mortgage that had 4 different partners, and it's the initials of all the people. That's how they came up with Mariah. It was Morris, something else, something else, something else, something else. So he likes to have that little story over there.
It's
it
simpler
sounds
to
good.
no. It's
but-
simpler to explain.
My bullshit meter went off the first time he said that. I'm like, there's no way that that's true. There's no way. Did you have another one?
This is a very serious one.
Oh, God.
Going back to your, being an ASU fan, is how did you let your kid go to U of A? And how do you associate with somebody who roots for U of A like Ron?
Wow.
Let me share a couple of simple things. Number one was his best friend since kindergarten was down at U of A, and he went there. And I told him when he left that he needed to get a job, because I wasn't writing a check to that school. So he took out student loans and got a job and worked down there the years that he went there, and took out some student loans and paid for his schooling. Then he owed all that money when he graduated. So I'm going to let a cat out of the bag and tell everybody I did pay for his college education, but I wrote a check.
What a clown.
But I wrote a check to the company that loaned him the money, not to the school.
You wrote a check to the bank instead of to the U
Correct.
of A.
Correct,
Wow.
Mundo.
Now, with your two daughters, did you pay directly to their tuition, or did you make them get student loans too?
Student loans.
You did. You
Oh,
didn't pay to ASU?
Nope.
They both went to ASU. My bullshit meter might be going off again. I think you might have sent a check to, because actually, I remember a story when Heather was in school and she had to come by and pick up a check for her dorm and her books at ASU. So, yeah, my bullshit meter just is
Maybe.
Correct today. Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, now you remember. Now you remember over there off of
Okay.
Lakeshore Drive.
Maybe. Maybe.
Is there another question?
There's lots.
Oh, keep going. Keep bringing them on. I love it.
Do you have a favorite employee? Can you name them? Others are
I
claiming
bet-
it's them.
I bet.
Okay.
Wait, was that from Sean?
No.
Okay. What's the question? Is there a favorite
Who's
employee?
your favorite employee?
Every single person who works here.
Oh, what a nice dad.
That's every single person that works here. Once again, back to the point. Treat everybody with respect. Don't show favorites. Don't do things for favors. Everything has to be consistent in how everybody's treated. Okay?
I still think Sean asked that question. He was hoping.
This is kind of a funny one, but it kind of lends itself to the fact that you are still originating yourself and running a company.
Correct.
So, he
And
asked how often.
oh, by the way, let me interrupt here.
Uh-huh.
Just for everybody who's on here. The last 2 days are the best 2 days I've seen this year. 5 new contracts.
Woohoo!
Yesterday and today.
Silver
I don't know what's going on out there, but man, I'm a happy guy.
So do you know your password to Encompass?
They don't let me in Encompass because every time I go into Encompass, I block everybody out and they have to reset everything.
Hey, I will tell you, true story. Not only does he still take a handwritten application, but he also still hand calculates his truth in lending. So, I mean, which is very impressive because most of us didn't ever even try to learn the calculation because the computer did it for you. But he's been around for so long and it's not changed that he actually knows how to do it and he's right on. So,
And I actually have the old form. That's what I put it on.
you do still.
I Xerox it every time I run out. I don't. That form hadn't been around for 15 years, but I still got them. I still got the old 1003 too.
Somebody asked about a story about Ron. Turn the tables on him a little bit. Tell a
Story
famous-
about me.
Yeah, give us a story about Ron that we'll
Well,
never forget.
I don't know
He
if
doesn't know.
Ron's bride's on this, so probably not a good idea.
Oh, I got many stories I can share about you.
Yeah, well, that's why there's not going to be one about you.
That's good. I like that.
No pictures, no songs. We don't do songs, we don't do pictures. What else you got there?
Other than sliced bread, what's the best invention you've seen in your lifetime?
Oh my God.
Wow.
The best
They're calling
invention
you
I've-
old.
No, kidding.
I mean, other than sliced bread, that's going back a ways.
Oh my.
Actually, do you guys have sliced bread at Thatcher? I mean, that town's so small. I don't think they ever had
No, it was
sliced
Safford.
bread. Or Safford, not
Safford,
Thatcher.
yeah, it was Safford.
Yeah, it's still small.
No, but the milkman brought the milk to the front door every morning. God, what was the best invention? You know, I much as I hate to say this, probably the computer. Probably the computer. it has changed our world. It's changed our lives. So I'd have to probably go with that. That's one I have to go with. What else you got there?
She's got a lot.
No. What is your proudest moment in People's Mortgage history?
Ooh. That's a good one.
You know, I'm not sure that I could point to one specific. I'm just proud of the fact that we've taken a non-existent entity and built it into what, in my opinion, and I don't know if everybody agrees with that, but in my opinion, a first-class, top-notch lending institution on a national scale. That's probably, I think, for me, the proudest moment. Not everybody's survived for the last 22 years. Been a lot of people. I mean, I can go back to 2008. Was it 8?
Mm-hmm.
When an MI company came in here and said, "Well, be proud, man. You're one of 4 left in Maricopa County." I one of 4 what? She said 1 of 4 companies that are left in this county, and that was nice to hear.
Out of 100, and was there 130?
No, there was 400.
Or 400 something.
432.
Yeah, because they included the brokers on that too.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
There was 4 companies left. There's a lot more now, but maybe by the end of this year there'll be 4 more left. Who knows? But the long and the short of it is that's probably what I'm most proud of, is the fact that we've taken an entity, a non-existent entity, and build it into something that's well thought of and successful, and people enjoy working here. You get up in the morning and you want to come to work. Now, I understand with COVID that a lot of people stay home, and that's how it's going right now. But if you want to come to work, it's available, and you want to get up and work, whether it's from home or here.
Did you cry when Sean joined the family business?
That was from Sean.
Did I cry when Sean joined the family?
Oh no, that
business?
sounds like a Jason Reed question.
Sean and I had a really strong conversation. I said, "You understand how volatile this business is. You're going to be up highs and you're going to be way down lows. You sure you want to get this business?" And he said, "Yeah, I do. I want to get this business." So I spent 2 weeks in the hospital, and then he started. That's a joke.
How do you stay optimistic that, like, when you say that with those highs and lows, how do you stay so optimistic? Because you don't ever show it.
For me, it's real simple. I love what I do. Okay, I get asked every day, "When are you going to retire? What's going on? For me, I love what I do, and as long as I continue loving what I do, then I'm going to do it. Otherwise, my option is to sit home, and I can't sit still. So, as long as I love it, I'll continue doing what I'm doing. I enjoy what I do. So,
And you got to plan for those low times. I mean, and that's what you've always preached for as long as I've been with you too. Same thing. It's like you're going to have these really good times, but don't change your lifestyle off the good times.
Oh.
Change your lifestyle and then
When you make
the lower.
When you make a lot of money, put some away.
Yeah.
So you can
plan for the slow
you
side.
can live during the down times. But long and the short of it is, I stay optimistic because I love what I do. I don't know how to put it any other way than that.
Is that it?
Let me just keep going.
Yeah, might as well. Let's throw a couple more out. I could pick out a couple more, and then we'll have them close up.
Biggest loan you've ever done?
Ooh. 2.3 million.
That was Brendan Bracken, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I said, picked on a California guy.
2.3 million. It was in North Scottsdale.
And then the other one is, what's your weekly order at the Vine?
Maple
might
hot
be
wings
good.
grilled. Maple hot. Let me say it a second time. Maple hot wings grilled, and Grey Goose and Diet Coke. Only because the doctor told me to stop doing so much sugar, because I was a rum and Coke guy for years and years.
Well, I know there's probably a lot more questions, and we apologize we can't get to all of them this month. But I appreciate you coming in here and showing everybody who you are as a person, as an individual. I've had the pleasure of knowing you on a personal side for a long time and working with you for a long time. But not everybody gets to see you on a personal side as well. So I hope you guys all are encouraged, and make sure if you're ever here, stop by and harass Stan. If you ever want a really good story, have him tell you about his orange hair one time. It's really funny as hell. But you'll have to ask him in person for that one.
Here, I thought we weren't telling stories. Here we
I
go.
didn't tell a story. I just said orange hair. That's all I said. I just said orange hair. So, anyways, thank you guys for joining all of us. And Stan, do you have any closing words? You wanted any words of advice for the rest of this year and going into next year?
Stay positive. Stay optimistic. Remember, what you're doing is needed by the population. They got to get in houses. They all want to have a house. You're the one that can help them do that. So stay optimistic and be happy and be optimistic around those people that you meet. They all know that this industry is struggling. So if you're the optimistic guy, it's going to go better. Be honest and fair with your customers. Give them the best price you can with the best service. There's 3 things that count: product, people, and pricing.
Right.
We'll provide you with all of them.
3 P's.
You remember that, didn't you?
Yeah, I sure do.
You don't have any. You don't have
Well,
any
I was
vodka.
going along with
You don't
the-
have any vodka, do you?
No, but I was going along with the don't worry, I'll be happy. Hey, thank you guys all for joining. Love you all. Good luck, and have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.
Stop by when you come in the office. Say hi. Bye.